Hi, ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Makalesi, and I decided to do a series called ET 101. And basically, what I want to do with this series is I want to elaborate more on aliens and ETs that people probably hear of, but maybe they just didn't have the understanding to do some research, or it's really new to them, and therefore they're kind of maybe find themselves lost in some discussions, and therefore they wanted kind of a quick, brief overview on aliens. So basically the one I'm going to start off with is the Anunnakis. And with the Anunnakis, basically it's a very interesting history because they're connected with Sumer, which is modern day Iraq, and a lot of people call it the cradle of civilization. And the reason why it's really interesting is because a lot of people believe it's like the cradle of civilizations from when man was from cavemen transforming into a beautiful culture like Sumer, because Sumer had agriculture, they had writing systems, they have tablets of talking about their gods. They knew about astrology really well, so people understand like, wow, it's like the cradle of civilizations. Now this can be disputed because a lot of people say that Nubia was around previously to Sumer, and so was Kemet, and we cannot also forget Atlantis and Lemuria. But because Atlantis and Lemuria just did not have ancient ruins, a lot of people just kind of like to cancel them out as mythology. But going forward, I'm just for the sake of ET 101 Anunnaki, I'm going to just concentrate on Sumer. So basically the theory goes that, according to mankind, we're supposed to be like these cavemen, and then also in Sumer we just blossom into civilization. And they had these tablets through agriculture where it was these flat tablets. There's many of them, but there are two that are very known, which is the Elish and then the Gilgamesh epic, which a lot of times is connected to the Old Testament, the Bible, because obviously Sumer was before the Bible, but a lot of the stories, because they're very similar, a lot of people say that the Bible was plagiarized from the Sumer tablets. But the thing that's really interesting about the Sumer tablets, which got my interest into them and why I started researching it through Geography Stitching, and also, just so you know, there's other people who know about Anunnakis, such as Dr. York in the East Coast, who had a little group of following. He said he was the incarnation of Murdoch. There's also Dr. York, Zachary Stitchin, Dan Winters, and then there's Lois Gardner. So basically, long story short, is they had these tablets, and for the longest time, people thought they were just farming tablets, showing people like how many cows and stuff you bought, until it finally got deciphered, and when it got decoded and people started translating it, there was like this magnificent story of ETs. And these ETs were called the Anunnakis, and they came from a planet called Narubu. Now what happened with this planet Narubu would every so often it would eclipse into our solar system, and when it would eclipse so close that they could take their ships from Narubu and fly to planet Earth. And the reason why, according to these tablets, they came to planet Earth is because they were mining for gold. And what happened is, for some reason, they needed some gold on their planet, so they came here. I'm not really clear on the story of it, but they're here for gold. And so when they came here, they tried to mine gold for themselves. Obviously, they weren't used to the hard work, so they tried to enslave the Yetis, which is a Bigfoot here, which didn't work because they were very violent. And then they decided to create a hybrid type of humans, which the Sumer said that they originated from. Now, before I go to that story with the Anunnakis who came from Narubu, they believe there is like the most high god, which was called Anu. And Anu had two sons. He had many children, but the one that's connected with Earth was Enlil and Enki. Now, when they came down here to mine for gold, it was Enlil who was, he was actually full Anunnaki, and Enki was half Draconian, half Anunnaki. But it was Enki who decided that he wanted to make this hybrid type of human, which people can say was the manifestation of Adam through Adam and Eve. So what he did is he took the humans at that time, which were reptilian people, spliced their DNA with the most compatible monkeys, which were compassionate, and with them. And then he made the new man, which is called the Adamu. But he made this avenue, it was like this new type of people, which the Anunnaki says that their heritage from. And of course, if you know, a lot of times, a lot of people says if you look at the West Africans, they were descendants of the Anunnakis because they're very muscular and built, as comparison to the East Africans were very slender. Long story short, Anil didn't like this fact that Anunnaki made these types of humans, and that they were kind of interbreeding with them, which he felt in fear of the Anunnakis. So he went to his the Anu, who said, you know what, you can make a flood, we can flush them all out, it's fine. And that's where the story of Noah's Ark came from. So Anil decided, just like the Old Testament, to flood out these humans. But Anunnaki said, wait a second, I want to go ahead and save my development people. So he took them, made a boat, long story short, went to Kemet, decided to repopulate there. So now this is the story when it goes into Kemet. And when they go into Kemet, the Anunnakis, it is believed that they kind of took on some identities of the gods over there. So Enlil basically became known as Aten-Ra. Enki became known as Ptah. And then you had Marduk, who was Enki's son, who became kind of like the Huti. So long story short, when they came into Egypt, Enlil still kind of wanted to be known as the one God of his movement. So, he had his high priest, who was named Akhenaten, to basically help him become like this one God. But Egypt didn't like it because they had many gods at the time, many principles, many goddesses and goddesses. And so they said, no, it ain't gonna happen. So they basically tried to kick him out. Akhenaten changed his name, supposedly according to theories, from Anunnaki to Moses, and he led an exodus of people through the valley who became the Israelites. And they wanted to worship Enlil's grandson, which was named Tammuz. So, that's like a quick overview of the Anunnakis coming from planet Narubu. A lot of times there's a lot of dispute on, if Narubu is coming into our planet, perhaps that planet is planet X, and this is going to help with the polar shift, and that's where the gravitational pull is part of 2012. So a lot of people think that, the Anunnakis are coming back and is connected to planet X. A lot of times people think that the Anunnakis are fourth and third dimensions. A lot of times people think that maybe, that was so old that the politics now is different. So, that's a really quick overview about the Anunnakis, Narubu, Enlil, Enki. Human genetics is connected to it, planet X, the crossing, breeding of them, and the theory of them coming back through planet X with 2012, and them coming back, their planet coming back into us. Have they come, have they not? Are they third, are they fifth dimensional beings? They're connected to reptilians. There's a lot of people to research if you really would like to learn more. I hope I gave you guys some interest. A quick overview, 8 minutes. There's a lot of stuff out there if you want to research, and I will see you on my next video.